Guys, if you're over 30, you're going to want to hear this. Every year after puberty, HGH, human growth hormone, the hormone responsible for workout recovery, performance, metabolism, and even libido, starts to decline, sometimes by 50% by age 35. Doesn't matter who you are, how hard you train, or how good you eat, it just happens because we get old. That's where BioPro Plus comes in. BioPro Plus is the first of its kind non-synthetic alternative to prescription HGH growth hormone treatments. All the benefits of synthetic HGH without any of the needles, side effects, doctor visits. Best part of BioPro Plus, it works fast. It's easy to use and 100% safe. It's been trusted by physicians since 2009, and its benefits can be felt in just days instead of months. Guys who use BioPro Plus have experienced faster workout recovery, enhanced performance, metabolism, sexual function, and even better mood and energy. Want to fix the way you perform, look, and feel without all the risk of big pharma synthetic stuff? BioPro Plus. Click on the link in our bio show notes to learn more. I tried BioPro Plus myself and I love it. If you put your body through the ringer like I have, then I think you're gonna love it too. Now, that's what I'm paid to say. Here's what actually happened. These two little white boxes show up in the mail. One that has ampules in it that you take first thing in the morning, and one that has ampules that you take at the end of the day. Within 12 days, because you're taking one ampule in the morning, one ampule at night, and by day 12, I went into the gym, and I'm not kidding you, everything was lighter. My pull-ups, I already can knock out 20. I'm a year away from being 50 years old. I do sets of 20. But this was the first time in a while where I can get up there and knock out sets of 20 plus. Now you add in weights, right? Bench press, squat, deadlift, all your big basics. Everything was significantly lighter. I also noticed that I was getting more done during the day. My mood was probably better, but because I'm antisocial, there's no one around me to tell me that I was in a good mood. But I felt like I was in a good mood. Anyway, BioPro Plus, it works. And then when I got off of it, because I did test, okay, let's see what happens when I get off. Things I noticed when I was off is that my joints went back to kind of achiness that I didn't notice before, especially in my shoulders and my knees, which have injuries. So that achiness kind of came back. So of course, I immediately got back on it and continued the journey and will continue the journey. So make sure you check out BioPro Plus. Check them out. Click on the link in our bio show notes to learn more. What's up, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of Can You Survive This podcast. Today, we got some real experts, and they're going to get tested. This is going to make or break their whole purpose in life, is surviving this show. They are survival, prepper, experts, but they do it in an entertaining yet useful fashion for the average Joe. Whether it's zombie apocalypse or natural disasters, these guys, the Casual Preppers podcast, Coby and Cam, I want to welcome to the show. Come on, buddy. Yeah.
Man, what an intro. You did get something wrong. We are in no way experts on anything.
That's
Anyways.
the only word that sounded a little odd.
That's the setup, though. That's the setup, because we actually do, we between the three of us, we kind of are all promoting, just solid information that can hopefully
Yes.
help people when a good day goes bad, right? It's the goal.
Absolutely. That's exactly what we're doing, and we love what you're doing. So, man, we are stoked to be here.
Yeah, it's awesome this worked out. I know that we went back and forth via Instagram and over the years, and now we're finally getting something that is coming to fruition. So I apologize on me, because I say, yeah, let's do this, and then I fucking forget to check those things. Now someone else.
You wanted to back out. It's all right.
Yeah, someone else is doing all the DM stuff, so they keep me in check now. So that's good.
Nice.
All right, so let's just get this started with your rapid fire. Allows us to get to know you guys a little better. Are you ready?
Yeah, man. Couldn't be more ready.
All right, here we go. Zombies or aliens. We can discuss
Aliens.
it.
Aliens.
Ooh, they both went to aliens.
No, man, we don't have to discuss
no,
that one.
that was an
Aliens,
easy one.
100%.
Yeah. Nuclear or complete freeze.
Oh my god.
And you're allowed to interpret these however you want.
I'm
I kind
gonna
of
do
threw them out.
nuclear.
You're gonna go nuclear?
I'm gonna go nuclear.
Okay, man, we're going nuclear.
Nuclear. Yes. Okay. Snow or sand?
Snow.
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 Snow. Okay. Coffee or tea?
Oh man. Do I have to pick one
Yeah,
of those?
neither.
Can I throw energy drink in there?
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of coffee. But that's both of them are.
I'm gonna go coffee. I'm gonna go coffee.
Yeah, coffee.
Coffee. Okay. Steak or salad?
Steak.
Steak.
Thank God. Good answer. Good answer. I mean, if you had a choice of having 6 fingers or 6 toes, which one would you go with? That's per hand, by the way. Per hand or foot. Per hand.
You gotta
I'm
go
going
with
fingers.
Yeah, fingers.
Are you gonna go toes?
Yeah, no, fingers.
Okay.
You gotta go fingers.
Yeah, fingers. Okay. Now remember, we're going to
So
circle
weird,
back
but
around.
yes.
Circle back around and talk about
Mhm.
why here in a minute. Okay.
I can't wait.
Would you rather break a leg or break an arm?
Man, we had this conversation recently, didn't we?
Yeah, I can't even remember what my original answer is, but I'm gonna go with a broken arm.
Yeah, broken arm.
Broken arm. Yeah. Broken arm.
Yeah.
Got it. A coffin or ashes?
Oh my gosh. Coffin.
I was
Yeah.
gonna say coffin. too.
Coffin. Coffin.
Coffin?
I don't even know how I'm gonna explain that one, but yeah,
Okay.
coffin.
All right.
I've got it figured out.
All right. And then, okay, now this one's, you guys are going to have to debate this one, okay? All right. Sexual and tone. Okay, you guys are okay with sex questions? Yeah, you ready?
Those are my favorite kind.
Here we go.
Yeah,
Here we
What
go.
we talk
All right.
about.
Okay. Having sex. Are you both married? Both
Not to
married?
each other.
Yes.
but yes.
we're both married.
You're both married. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Just want to make sure.
We're both married.
I want to pick all the right words here. Okay. Having sex with your mother's body, but with your wife's soul in it, or have sex with your wife's body with your mother's soul in it. Which one?
Oh my God. Wait. Give me that one more time just so I understand
That's-
correctly. One more time through this question.
Okay. Your mom's body with your wife's soul inside. Okay. Your mom won't know what's going on. Or your wife's body with your mom's soul inside. Your mom will know what's going on. What?
Okay. This might be the toughest question we've ever
That is
gotten.
a super hard question.
It
Look,
is-
we do a Q&A
it
once
is.
a month, and this is by far the hardest one we've ever gotten.
I would agree.
Oh my gosh, Cam. Okay. Wife's, I don't think I could make it
Mom's
work.
body, wife's soul.
No, dude.
No, I'm just saying
Okay,
it again.
yeah, yeah.
I'm just going through it.
Okay.
I want to see your face. With show
Don't look at my
when I
face
said
when
it.
you talk about having sex with your mom.
Or yeah, or
Okay.
your wife's body, but
I,
mom's
I
soul.
think it has to
Or
be
another body.
wife's body.
I'd agree.
I-
I don't know. I don't know, man.
I don't think I can make it work if it's my mom's body. It's got to be wife's body, mom's soul. I'm
your
sorry.
mom's ideas and your mom's thoughts and
Right.
your mom's like, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? Like,
Yeah.
I would probably go.
You go what?
I go with my wife's soul, even though it's
Okay.
not the body I'd want.
We're split. It's a split decision, Clint.
All right. Well, then we'll come back and talk about each of y'all's reasoning. Okay. It's okay.
I don't want to talk about that one anymore.
Oh boy, isn't that so much fun? Okay, this one. Okay, hold on a second. Last one.
Okay.
Head first or feet first? That's really anything.
Feet first.
Feet first.
Feet first.
Safety first, buddy. Okay, there you go. You survived the first part of this thing. Okay, so far so good.
Oh my gosh.
All right,
Yes.
now we're
I feel like that
Sort of.
one ruined me.
gonna. I always have to throw a zinger in there. For a little while,
That's a
I was
good one.
doing.
I
I
wanna
was
be-
doing butt plug or gag ball. So
I did hear that one.
Yeah.
But But
No, man, I'm going to be thinking about that one for a while.
Yeah. The next time you're having sex with your wife, I'm sure.
Yeah, man.
Now
I appreciate that.
Now I'm in your head. Yeah, you'll be.
Well done, man.
Yeah, so that'll last for a while. Okay. Going back to the top, zombies versus aliens. You both quickly answered aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah, why?
I think previously we may have gone with zombies originally,
so too,
but
early on.
I just feel like some sort of an alien invasion, an alien apocalypse is going to be way more interesting than just like flesh-eating zombies. We've seen it. Who the hell knows what's going to happen if aliens come, right? It could be an insane show to watch and to be a part of. So that's why I'm going aliens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just feel like it's more exciting. The stories that people tell
of
alien encounters and abductions. You don't get that with zombies.
No, there's not a lot.
Make crap up, and
there's not a lot of like alien or zombie rapes.
No.
It's mostly from aliens.
No. So aliens are just more exciting all around.
Yeah. Alien rape. I'm going with that.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think we know zombies that, according to folklore and movies and TV shows, the zombies just kill you. Whereas, they turn you into a zombie, one or the other. But aliens now, aliens, that would be a great confirmation, right? Like, that's what I just want to know. Like, are we the only ones, or are we?
Yeah, exactly.
Where do you guys fall with that? Do you believe that we're the only ones, or we are not?
We're definitely not the only ones.
I agree.
And I would just be so sad if this was it. Right. Really, this is the best the universe could come up with is
endless universes. We're the only ones. That's sad.
You know what I mean? So, there's got to be something else out there. I got to believe that. I don't know. Where do you stand on that, Clint?
I want to know. Yeah, I think. Yeah, if space is truly infinite and it's not like a large glad bag wrapped around us with little holes punched in it, it's like if it's truly infinite, then I have to assume that we are not the only ones. I mean,
right.
Yeah, I think there's got to be something else out there, and I want to know before, love to know. Anytime, guys.
Exactly.
Anytime you want to come visit, come on down, say hi.
Yeah,
seriously. Probe away.
That's it. Probe away. Get all in there. Just get in there. Touch me. All right. Nuclear versus freeze. You guys picked nuclear.
Yeah. Now that I'm thinking about that, I think I probably would have chose freeze.
Yeah, I could tell you were going to do that.
But that's okay. You chose nuclear.
I don't know. I don't even know what we're talking about.
It doesn't matter, Cam.
That's the beauty of it. That's the beauty of it. Yeah. It's all. How would you interpret that?
I'm guessing that's like end of world scenario, right?
Yeah.
That's the way I was.
Earth freezes over, or it's a nuclear scenario. I have a weird obsession with nuclear stuff right now, especially with Oppenheimer coming out. Been reading. Yeah. And, it would be horrible, but I think it'd be swift. Where freezing, I don't know. I think you drag on a little longer. Right. Maybe that's why you said that.
Sure, maybe. I think in my mind, I can always put on another coat, right? I don't put on some gloves and a jacket, and I'm going to get through it somehow. But radiation's pretty tough, man. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's something I don't want to ever experience.
Right.
Yeah, I think if it's nuclear, you certainly want to be inside the blast zone just to get it over with. Because if you're part of fallout,
it's kind of figure if it's like a big one.
Yeah. The rest of that scenario with radiation and the sun, supposedly it may lead to the freeze, right? There's different theories on it,
right?
Because
that's true.
Yeah, the nuclear. If all these nuclear weapons went off, basically you'd have a blackout, and they don't know how long that would go for, but long enough to basically freeze us. But freeze over, who knows, right? It could be gradual. It could be painful death. Right? Okay.
True. Could be. Yeah. I'm still going with the freeze.
Yeah, go with the freeze.
Yeah.
Okay. Snow versus sand. This kind of is down, but it was just an open thought. So snow versus sand. You guys pick snow. Is that more of like where
I feel like we live in both.
Yeah.
And when I think sand, I think hot.
We are in northeastern Utah.
Oh,
so this is like a mountainous desert.
High desert.
high desert. So it's like one day we've got, negative blizzards. It's insane. The next day it's like 150 degrees. So it's like we do go through both of those. But for me, like I take cold weather over hot weather any day.
Me too.
I hate being hot. I would hate to have to survive in, extreme temperatures, the high temperatures. So that's why I went with snow. I don't know. I feel more comfortable there, I guess.
You roll around in snow, not going to stick in cracks.
Exactly.
It's just way more fun.
Yeah, you could build a snow fort. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Right.
Sandcastles are stupid. So
yeah, igloos are way better.
They are.
Yeah, I think kind of the same. I mean, it goes back to that simple, right? You can never take enough off to cool off. It's in a hot environment.
Yeah, exactly.
But you can always put on more to get warm, right? So that's kind of where I lean towards cold as well, because I just,
simple logic. I like it.
Yeah, I like it. Yeah. Okay. Coffee versus tea. You kind of debated about it, but ended up saying coffee in the end.
Yeah, man. Tea's just like dirty piss water. I don't get why people drink it. I mean, unless you put a ton of sugar in it, I just don't get it. I would lean towards coffee there, but I don't really drink either of them. I'm more of an energy drink guy. So
yeah.
Okay.
I don't drink either.
Go ahead.
Oh man, lately I've been drinking Ghost. I like those, man.
Yeah, I'm a Red Bull guy. I like the Red Bulls.
Yeah.
Even though one can is like $50, it seems like a little tiny shot. Good stuff though. But
does a trick.
When that question made me think of, just what we do. I'm like, what item would I barter with better? So I went with coffee. Even though I don't drink it, I know people are going to need it.
That's right. No, you're right. And that's what I love about, like, you guys watch or hear about all the I go gold, right?
Yeah.
It's like, wait a minute. About gold, but is that really going to be what people want to barter with at the end of the world when the dollar goes up?
Yes, man. We have this conversation so often because there's so many people like, oh, you got to get gold, you got to get silver. I'm like, man, I'm thinking about myself in one of those like crazy long-term SHTF scenarios. Do I want to give up my beans or my bullets for a bar of gold, or would I rather get back something that I know I can use in the next month or so? So I'm in the same boat. Like, I would rather have physical things that I can tangibly use and not some precious metal that I don't know if it's real. I don't know how.
I know.
You know what I mean? Yeah, I'm going with that all day.
Yeah. Here's my bullets for your 6-pack of Ghost.
Exactly.
That's what you're going for.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm with you. I think it's the same. I think I think there's like these unknown variables that we can't even imagine that become like pandemic. Who would have thought the country would have been sold out of toilet paper, right? Like toilet paper became valuable. What's that?
My ass was ready for that. I had so much toilet paper. Like, I was the king of the county, bro. So it's true though. Like, you don't know what it's going to be when it goes down. You don't know the scenario. You don't know the intricacies of each scenario is going to be a little bit different. But I'm going for hard goods over.
Yeah, I'm going for
precious
vices.
metal. Yep, exactly.
Yeah, for sure. Steak or salad? Just seeing where you guys stood with your choices.
Yeah, that's easy, man.
Steak.
Yeah, that's a super easy one.
Meat eater.
Yeah, it's steak all day, man. Yeah, for sure.
You're gonna have to eat a lot of salad for that energy and to do what you can with a belly full of steak.
That's right.
And in survival situations, especially, I mean, what do you, a vegan or some of these the vegetarians, how do you think they would do? Survival situation.
That becomes really, really hard, because even like in everyday life, if you're a vegan, you have to be supplementing in some way, right, to get certain nutrients that you're not getting from the meat. So it's going to be really, really rough on you unless you have prepared meticulously for whatever scenario it is, man. You better be ready for some hard times and making some really hard decisions. Like, am I going to eat this rabbit, or am I just going to eat what the rabbit's been eating? You know what I mean? So I think it's going to be much tougher than they would expect. I honestly, I assume most of them haven't thought that through anyways, but I think it would be pretty tough.
Yeah. But then long-term scenario, like obtaining meat and protein, it's going to be harder than growing it. I mean, you can't grow it. But, I mean, in some ways you can.
In some ways you can, yeah.
But I don't know. I think they would fare okay, but.
All right, fine, Cam.
But
they would fare okay.
I don't expect them to.
Okay.
Yeah. I think, fish, right? I feel like, in most of these survival situations, if you can get to a lake, river, or the ocean, then you'll be fat and happy for a while, because it's really boils down to the fat that decides the difference. You can have all the protein and vegetables you want, but it's that fat piece that's always. You guys watch Alone and all that?
Yeah, man, we have watched Alone. Recently, we actually just had Donnie Dust on the podcast, who was on. I can't remember what season it was.
It was one of the early seasons, right?
Yeah, it was. But he only made it like 8 or 9 days, which is so incredible, man. This dude is just a badass. It makes me insane. But yeah, it's like you got to get that fat, right? That rabbit starvation is a big deal.
Yeah, I was pretty amazed by that. It's a theme. Like, if you don't have the fat component, you're fucked. You just have to have it. Of course, from fish, you get all of it. Okay. What was the next one? Oh, yes. 6 fingers per hand or 6 toes per hand. You guys pick 6 fingers. What's your initial thought on that?
Yeah, that's a good question.
You can lose one, you're still good.
Yeah, it's like I gotta feel like having an extra finger on each hand is going to be more useful to me than an extra toe.
So too.
Plus, my shoes are going to fit all funky.
Yeah,
I'm going to look like an idiot in sandals.
I already have enough problems with my feet, like
do you?
Toes, fungus, all that. I don't need an extra one thrown in there. I have problems with it.
Okay, yeah, I didn't think about that aspect.
Just one more to stub.
Yeah,
one more to have an ingrown toe.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah, I look at it like your hands are like your most. That's your greatest tool, right? So you'd want to increase. If you had a choice, I'd probably put an extra thumb, like coming out the other side, right over here. Like it's like a thumb here and a thumb over here.
That's true. That's a good idea.
Right.
That would be so cool.
Can you imagine the grips you would have? I'm thinking about like jujitsu, man. Like it's gonna be beautiful.
That's
one
true.
extra
never
finger.
Lose.
No one's getting away from you then. They can't.
No. Hell
twist their way out of an overhand or
grappling's going to be true.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Okay. All right. Glad we got that figured out.
Second thumb.
Break a leg or break an arm. You guys picked an arm. Yeah.
Yeah, we'd had this discussion. What did it come from?
It was a Q&A. It was a Q&A. Yeah.
And I originally had said, I'm like, I can get around if I have both my arms, and I can still shoot. I can still prepare a meal, things like that. But I'm like, I can't get away. I'm not going to be very fast if I don't. So I went back on that.
Yeah, for me, it's I want to be mobile. I want to be able to move. If I'm stuck in one spot, hobbling around on one leg is going to be pretty rough, man. Good luck trying to swim with one leg. If I had to, right? That'd be pretty tough. I don't know. Mermaids kind of have one leg.
That's true. Right? One big old fat leg.
No, so I feel like I got to have both of my arms, but that's just me. Because Cam was arguing with me, and there's actually a lot of people that went with him. They said, "Oh, you should get rid of the leg."
Our world has been structured around people being immobile.
That's true. Yeah,
you just get on a rascal, or you can find a wheelchair somewhere, right?
I guess. Good luck in an SHTF scenario.
Yeah, that's interesting. I think people that say leg is technology, right? They're thinking about, I don't want to operate technology with just one hand. I need both hands for my iPad, cell phone, and laptop.
That's true, man.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, and especially if I have those 6 fingers, I'm not getting rid of one of those arms, man. I got to keep those fingers.
That's funny. Coffin versus ashes. You guys went straight to coffin. I'm guessing, is that a religious thing or what?
Oh, not necessarily.
No, I don't know why I went with
to me, I feel like if there's ever a way to come back from the dead, it's going to be easier if I'm in one piece than if I'm a pile of ashes.
Well, that's true.
Right?
That's true. Yeah. Yep.
So that was where my brain went like immediately.
Yeah. I don't know where I went with. My brain didn't go anywhere on that. It's just spit out a word.
Yeah, I think. Well, yeah. If you're talking about vampires and zombies and all that, then you want your body on one piece.
I think that's kind of
maybe come back.
Right, and I don't even know if it necessarily needs to be a vampire or a zombie. I mean, technology, AI, man. At some point, they're bringing people back from the dead.
Yeah,
I want to be one of those people, man. I want, you know what I mean? And it's going to be pretty tough to get a pile of ashes to get back into human form. I think
it's true.
So
coffin could be a good shelter. So.
That's true. That's a good point. And the AI piece, that's valid because that is kind of scary. Have you guys seen the new Mission Impossible?
No, I haven't seen it yet.
Yes.
I like them all.
Is it good?
Considering they probably put that thing together like what, several years ago? That's immediately what I think when I see these movies that are very spot on for today, right? This movie being put together over a period of years ago, and now it finally gets to the screen. The AI threat that it revolves around is fucking amazing and out of this world,
cool.
and very realistic. So yeah, check it out.
Nice. Yeah,
I had no idea that's what it was.
We just released an episode yesterday on surviving the AI apocalypse, so it's kind of fresh in our brains.
Well, it's also very telling that, takes us all back in time is, Terminator 1 and 2, where they kind of lay the foundation, for Skynet. I literally, me and my daughter were watching it the other day, and it had been a while, and how fucking accurate they were. And that movie was, what, 91? Back in 1991, 92, whenever the hell the second Terminator came out. Because that's where they really go in deep, kind of giving you the background to Skynet. And it's everything they say is what we're doing and going through right now. Pretty amazing.
Oh, it's so crazy.
It is.
James Cameron's a prophet.
He is.
That film too. Like Terminator 2, it is such a good film. Like from top to bottom, like everything is just amazing. Terminator 1 was great, but no, Terminator 2 is so much better.
Yeah,
right. It was like so in depth on the background and the future, and man, good stuff. Okay, and you guys' favorite question? Okay, mom's soul or your wife's soul? Which soul is going to witness the act?
I think it comes down to my soul in the end. Like, can I go through with the act of, even though I know it's my wife's soul in there, it's my mom's body.
I know. It's a tough one.
I think my body, my brain, my soul would rebel, even though I knew it was my wife's soul. So I just don't think nothing's going to work. Right? If you know what I'm talking about.
Not even the blue pill would make it work.
No, I don't care what color the damn pill is. It's not going to help. You know what I mean? So in my mind, it comes down to my soul. I just don't think I would just have to close my eyes when I saw my mom ever again.
Yeah. I couldn't have her soul in her mind being like, my young man has turned into this, doing this weird stuff.
Well, you don't have to make it weird.
I know, but I'm
just
saying,
go normal. I don't need missionary. My mom just go at it. You don't have to make it weird, man.
Well, it's weird already.
It's already weird. Okay, I don't know.
I don't know.
More power to you, buddy.
Yeah. Well, there was a split decision, so we'll leave it at that. Okay.
Yeah. Never ask that one again.
Well, you guys did survive. You survived the first part of this. Now we're rolling into the next phase. Which is more about you guys, your past, your present, your future. Just for the audience, especially if you're watching this on YouTube, Coby, raise your hand. There he goes. Okay, that's Coby. All right, and then Cam, raise your hand. Guy, it's the other guy. Yeah, there he is. Okay, so now everybody knows who's who. We'll start with you, Coby. What got you into, into the world scenarios, survival, all that good stuff? Is there anything that stands out, or just?
Yeah, I don't know. Kind of for me growing up, my family sort of had the preparedness was sort of a thing, right, in my family. So I kind of grew up with that notion. But then also, like, the biggest thing I think that really affected me is media. It was movies, it was books, it was even video games, man. That kind of stuff I loved consuming it. And then I loved kind of the thought afterwards, like, how would I do this? How would I get through this scenario? And it's something that's sort of stuck with me. And the reason why I think Cam and I got along so well when we met each other is because we kind of both loved that, right?
Exactly.
It was kind of that thing. So it was a shared love of those types of scenarios, that type of media, and that's kind of where the genesis of all this was.
Yeah, and for you, Cam, how did
a lot of the same. I grew up, my family, I grew up on a dairy farm, and so we always kind of had our own things, our own meat. And I grew up as a prepper, I would say. And then the media kind of triggered the, could I survive? And, it's just kind of a thought that I think every man has, like, am I manly enough to like live and survive like this? And then having a family changed everything for me too. It's like, that's exciting. Could I do it? Now I'm like, now I need to do it for them. Mm-hmm. And it's more important to me to be prepared for them than it is just, am I manly enough to survive it? So that's kind of where we kind of just, Coby and I shared the same thoughts and like similar games that were in movies that were survival. And that's where the podcast kind of came from. So.
Yeah, I love it. And it's kind of the same for me. I grew up overseas, and really it was scouting that kind of opened the door to preparedness, and I did the scout thing before there was a bunch of pedophiles running the show or whatever the hell's going on with that organization. And
exactly.
Yeah, and it was just a lot of fun. You're outdoors all the time, you're learning cool stuff, you're living off the land, and you're doing it with camaraderie and a bunch of other like-minded kids. And that just spawned it, and then from there, you just it just grew. In the military, of course, you learn a lot of this stuff again and at a little bit higher level, and then I think agreeing with both of you, the family piece, before it's kind of like more of the selfish, like I just want to know this stuff. And then you have a family, and it's like, well, now I want to know it because guess who they're all going to be looking at to like have the answers and figure it out. It's going to be dad, right? And I feel like there's a lot of dudes in this country or globally that have no clue anymore because we're so reliant on technology, and the technology makes us lazy, and complacent. So anyway. In Cam, you growing up on a dairy farm, that's self-reliance through and through, which was what The Rugged Life, the book I did last year, it's all it's about. Is like the more self-reliant you are, the less reliant you are on everything else that's out there. And it creates this, did you feel like growing up on a dairy farm, you had this like insulation or bubble around you from the outside world, the drama, the bullshit, the media and all that, or... Do you realize that now?
For sure. Yeah. I actually feel, I almost feel jealous of my own childhood, my own upbringing, that I can't give the same to my kids. Cause now I work at a clinic and they don't have the opportunities quite as well as I did. So.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. It's I think it's all a necessary piece of education and knowledge and experience everyone should have. I always tell people, like, especially with Rugged Life, the skills in that book were every American knew just like less than 100 years ago, right? Everyone knew most of those skills. And then you fast forward, like now no one knows any of those skills, which is just crazy to me.
Oh, it's insane, man.
Time frame.
That's a lot of the reason we started the podcast too, because we felt like it was like almost nobody was considering this stuff, like being prepared, even just the very basic stuff, right? Some food and some water and some first aid stuff and some medical stuff. Like that wasn't even being talked about. And we're like, that's insane, right?
And we have an abundance of it, and it's all accessible for us, and we just don't do the right things with it.
You could do some very basic, easy things that take you almost no time and almost no money to become like jump yourself up in preparedness, and people just weren't doing it. So we're like, how the hell do we get people to start doing this kind of stuff? Because again, like there's so much pressure, like Cam said, once you become a dad, and a husband, it's like, oh my gosh, I got to take care of all these people. I got to figure it out. And so that was kind of what we said, like, let's start a podcast. Let's do it a little bit differently than most people, and let's get as many people as we can that are just average, everyday people into preparedness somehow, And so that's kind of the way we've been doing it for the past 5 or 6 years,
Yeah, and that's a good segue into your podcast. Obviously, you guys have been doing pretty good. I love your stuff, the videos. You do little gear reviews. Once again, it's called Casual Preppers Podcast, and so tell us, like, you guys met. How'd you meet, and then get into this podcast and the format, and give us the lowdown.
Sure.
Well, easily. We just luckily moved in the same neighborhood. We were across the street from each other in a subdivision. And I'd happened to have seen Coby in clinic.
Yeah.
And he's like, hey, here's a doctor on my butthole. No,
it
we
was
didn't
like
get that. We didn't go.
It was a disgusting bowel issue I had to go see him for anyways.
Yeah.
So it was a little awkward. Like our eyes met like, I remember you.
I saw your other eye.
Yeah.
It's herpes.
and
just
we
herpes.
just-
Not a big deal. It's herpes.
Yeah.
Everybody's got it these days. No. So then we just started talking, man. And again, it kind of came back to like, hey, you like that movie? Oh, I love that movie. Like, what would you do? And that kind of stuff started. And then I happened to have gear for recording stuff, audio stuff, right? And we're like, man, let's start a freaking podcast, right?
Yeah.
Let's start talking about
randomly
this stuff.
decided at Applebee's.
Yeah, we were at Applebee's.
We're like, why don't we just do a podcast and just BS in the basement like any high school buddy would do, and that's kind of what we did.
Yeah, and we wanted to do it different. Obviously, our podcast is different than like almost every other preparedness podcast out there. Is like we want it to be like first and foremost, we want it to be entertaining. We want people to listen, right? Because as we were starting this, we were listening to a lot of podcasts in this genre, and to be honest, like a lot of it was like insanely boring, and there was like a lot of, there was the dichotomy of the people that were like you, that this high level, high skill sets, ex-military, these guys that just like, they're intimidating. I mean, you're an intimidating dude, right? And so for some people, it's like, oh man, I could never be that right there. And then there was on the other side, there was like homesteaders, right? That were,
different.
They don't have a microphone. They live off
churning their own butter and making their own underwear. And it was like, oh my gosh, man, we do not fit in here at all. So we're like, we're going to do something kind of in the middle for like suburban dudes who just, or anybody, men or
population.
that just want to kind of get more prepared, but also just want to take an hour a week and relax and be entertained, and at the same time getting some good preparedness information. So that's kind of the way we did it, and we do it with really stupid accents, stupid jokes.
Sure do.
And that's about it, right?
Yeah, no, that's how it goes.
That's it.
Well, yeah, and I see here, on your little target package we built, it's expert redneck voice impersonators listed somewhere.
Yeah.
And
that just came out. I didn't know how it happens.
And then Cam, you're a PA, a physician assistant. Coby, what's your day job?
Yeah.
I do a lot of this kind of stuff as a day job. My official title is creative producer supervisor. So we do filmmaking, commercial videography, photography, podcasting, and all that kind of stuff.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah. And then just like, special operations medical school was for me, PA was for you, that it comes in handy, right? Does it not? Like the medical side
it does come in handy.
Being ready. I mean, I had no idea, right? You're getting all this education and then you realize, like there's a lot more information that actually applies to these really, really worst case scenarios. And a lot of times it goes back to medical knowledge that's going to get your ass, to the next day. Would you agree?
Right. Yeah. It's crazy how many people don't know basic medical skills, just general. I mean, I've worked in urgent care where they come in for a sore throat that they woke up with that morning. I'm like, do you not know how to take care of yourself? It just blows my mind. So yeah. And it's nice to have that skill set because I don't feel like I have any other skill sets.
Well, one of the interesting things you guys did, you posted about, talked about it, and I made sure to take note of it, was kind of like the unconventional medicine as it relates on the pharmaceutical side, right? Like going and getting antibiotics, right? It's difficult to go to your doctor or your primary care person and say, I just want a bunch of Z-Packs to put in my bag or put, on the shelf at home. I don't want to have to come to you to get this shit every time. And so you guys were talking there, I can't remember when, it's probably been some time. Maybe it was during the pandemic, but there's these other creative ways to stocking up on antibiotics and things you'll need that a doctor won't be there to write you a prescription for when, when a good day goes bad. Can you kind of talk about some of those routes that some people can go to get, antibiotics and some of the basics?
Yeah, no. So we had talked about, and I mean, I'm going to put that out there. This isn't medical advice because this is end of the world. This is this is the last resort. But fish antibiotics are produced similar to human. Even the numbers on them are the same, the lot numbers and everything. So they are going to work the same. They're not going to poison you. And so that is an option. Is you can actually use and have fish antibiotics as your backup plan. Obviously, you want to use what you can get from a physician or a clinic or something. But when you can't, you have that fish antibiotic that can and will work the same and similar to a human antibiotic.
And where would you get the fish antibiotics? Is that from like a fish store?
There's a couple places. Yeah, you can.
Stores?
I know. Yeah, you could. And I've ordered from like Chewy.com, and I've there's a place in Utah that has they specifically kind of have a guide and everything on there. I don't remember the website, but yeah, there are some places that can do that, and you can order from Canada and stuff too. So
okay. And for everyone listening, whether it's for fish, for livestock, a milligram is a milligram, right? 1 for 1.
Yeah.
So
yeah,
that's the beauty of it, right? So if you know how much you need of amoxicillin for, let's say, an upper, respiratory issue or ear infections and all that kind of crap, you're really just going to do simple math to find out how much you actually are going to use of the non-human version of an antibiotic, correct?
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah.
I always recommend too that somebody pick up a guide from Amazon, like Terrascon Pharmacopoeia or something, so you can look and see, this is used for a UTI, and then it tells you what types, and you can see that you can access those antibiotics through fish antibiotics and things like that. Yeah. Also, there's places like Contingency Medical that have actual ones that you can just do online. You meet real quick and give them a medical history, and they'll send you a kit with like 6 different antibiotic types. So that's another option.
Yeah, that's a cool concept. I actually ordered 2 of those.
I really like that.
Yeah, I ordered 2 of the little, and they come kind of neat. They come in these cool little zip-up
They do.
pouches, all squared away. You can put one in your house and maybe one in your vehicle or a cabin or some other place, and that way you're good to go. I like it.
Yeah.
What are some other routes? I think Coby, you were about to allude to some other ways.
No, I was going to bring up Contingency Medical or Jace Case. There's 3 or 4 of them now that do that, and I just think
since those are an option now.
Yeah, those are an option now, and they weren't in the past, and they're so easy to do. Right, like Clint, you said you've gone through it. It's not that big a deal, and to have those on hand, it's just such a good idea. You just don't know what you're going to run into. You don't know what your access is going to be to medical professionals. It's just a smart thing to do that's not that hard.
And most things don't need antibiotics.
Right. Yeah, I know. It's like your body will figure it out, and most people just aren't patient enough these days to let the temperature rise. There's a reason for that.
Exactly. And being physically fit, like that's probably the biggest thing of all is like be healthy.
Yeah.
Eat healthy. Exercise.
I think
and you're going to pretty much not have to worry about most of that.
That's the hardest thing for most people these days is like, there's a lot of preppers out there. They got their 10,000 rounds of 5.56. They got their food, but they can't walk up a set of stairs without almost going, into having a heart attack. And so it's like, you know what? You should probably start at a different place at this point. You need to get yourself healthy because you need to be ready at any time. You don't know. You can't just start working out once, the apocalypse hits. You got to be ready to go before that happens. Yeah. So I think that's a big thing on the preparedness side, on the medical side too, right?
The most important.
It's probably the most important thing. And it's a hard thing. It's a hard thing for people to hear, man.
Yeah. And what would you say is another overlooked like preparedness item or, thought that people should have that usually no one talks about?
For me, it's financial preparedness.
That would be my second one too.
That's it's a huge thing, man. There's several different ways to look at this. I mean, low debt is obviously a good thing just throughout your entire life, but having cash on hand is a huge thing. Not going into debt to get prepared. I always tell people, it's like, oh, they want to start preparing. Great, that's fantastic. And they say, where should I start? I'm like, do you have an emergency fund? And they're like, well, no. I'm like, well, that's where you should probably start, because really preparedness is everyday preparedness. Most likely, the aliens aren't going to invade. That sucks. That's not going to happen. But most likely, you need to be preparing for your personal apocalypse, and that's like, a job loss or your car breaking down or something like that, right? Preparedness is everyday preparedness, and we really preach that. And financial preparedness is one that it's a tough pill to swallow for people.
It is,
but it's the one I feel like everybody should kind of start with, to be honest. So I think that one's super overlooked.
Yeah, I like that. That's a good one. And what are you guys recommending or hearing from your guests? Is it 3 months of money, 6 months, or just as much as possible? Is there a latest greatest on
that? I mean, we kind of just recommend start with $500 of readily available cash. And then, if you can build to 6 months, I mean, that's the ultimate goal. But most and just on that, it's like I think there's that normalcy bias that they're like, we'll be fine. People will bail us out. And then there's also like, well, if things collapse, money's just going to be burned in a barrel to keep you warm. And it's like, it's not going to go. Both of those ways are probably not going to happen. Like, you really need to have a rainy day fund and available cash now. And so we kind of recommend start with 500, build from there, get to, they say with what you use a month, you want to have 6 months worth of that to pay bills, pay groceries, and all that stuff.
Yeah, that's sort of like having that in the bank ready to go when you need it. But there's also like, you should have cash, like literal paper money on hand at all times as well, right? Because that's something that people just don't have these days. You have your card, you go do it, but the power goes out, the internet goes down, there's some sort of an emergency scenario where you can't use your card. You need to be able to get those things that you need, whether that be fuel or meds or, bartering for whatever. Having cash on hand is going to give you a leg up in those situations. So, always have a few $100 ready with, smaller bills and cash as well.
We luckily have a movie theater that only takes cash, so we always have it on hand.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's awesome. Yeah. That movie theater and Motel 6, I think, are the only ones that still take cash.
Motel 6. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly right.
Yeah. And so moving into, so what would be the third one? I love the first one, the medicine and having those antibiotics or anything else on hand that can support, saving your life or getting rid of viral or bacterial issues. And then you've got money. What's the third one? Anything that stands out?
I'm going to say water.
Yeah, water.
Yeah.
Water is going to be your next one. Probably the hardest one because it takes up so much space. It's hard to do that and put it in your home, but there are a lot of ways you can do it.
Yeah.
Storing it under your couch or under your bed, and you can put it in, smaller containers throughout the house or buy a 55-gallon drum, because water, we have such a, we're fortunate to have such a nice system to where we have clean water, but really that's pretty fragile. Like pipes will break.
How often do you see boil orders or, that stuff happens so frequently. And there's like so many different ways to prepare water. Like Cam's saying, having physical water on hand is so important. That's like one of the most important things, but also having ways to purify water, right?
That's the first thing that goes from the store.
Exactly.
Everybody buys the water.
Yeah. And it's the most important thing, man. You can't go more than 3 days without having it. So it's like, okay, I need to make sure that I have this food. Obviously you need to have food as well, but you can go a lot longer without food, obviously. So yeah, water is so important, and that means at home in all of the kits that you might have, whether that's, a bug out bag or a get home bag type thing. Different ways to purify it it's so simple. Like $20, you can have a Sawyer Mini and it purifies 100,000 gallons. It's like anybody can do that, man.
Insane.
You know what I mean? Get one of those, you're ready to roll,
That's right. And having that extra finger will help you squeeze the Sawyer,
Oh my! It's extra thumb. Don't forget it's thumb, right?
The extra thumb.
We got thumb. Yeah,
exactly. And the water scenario, once again, going back to the rugged life, I went around and hung out with these homesteaders, and that's where I collected the details of these skills. And the stuff they have figured out is just phenomenal. Like if you just take, your 500 square foot shed that has a 500 square foot plus roof on it, and you put gutters on it, and then you push the gutters into barrels, a 500 square foot, very small little roof. And that's probably just one side of the apex, right? If it's, a normal pitched roof, that one side is roughly probably just under 300 gallons of water per year, even if you get even the least amount of rainfall per year. 300 gallons of free, naturally filtered water, depending on the bird poop and everything else on your roof. But it's pretty clean right out of the gate. It's coming straight from the sky into
Pretty
your
ready
barrel.
to go, yeah.
It's collection, right? It's, knowing how to collect it and knowing how much you need and knowing the environment. Like, we go through some summers here in Texas with 0 rain, and then there's this summer where we're getting rain and thunderstorms all the freaking time. So, but you've got to know your average rainfall, where you live, take any shed, your home, roof, whatever. You've already probably got gutters on it. Now you're just going to redirect those down spouts into some kind of containment system. And, it's easy, it's free, and you really don't have to do much as long as you get it set up right. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's so awesome, man. Yeah, there's so many different ways to
water skills, man.
to approach that problem.
Yeah.
And just start taking a look at it, man. Just start today with something. And like you can look at the basics that FEMA or the government's asking you to do. Have 3 days, man. If you could start with 3 days, it's a good start. It's not much, but you have something. It's better than nothing. Right.
Right.
And you can even get you can even get things like water bobs that you can put in your tub and fill those up right before something's happening. And, you have a ton of water right there.
Right.
And it's very simple. It takes up no storage, basically. So, there's so many different ways to approach it. But I think that water is probably the third on the list there. If might be the first on the list. But yeah.
Yeah. And for listeners, know the math, right? So if you're talking 3 days worth of water, you got to know, okay, how many family members do I have? Okay, 4. And you want a recommended 1 gallon per family member per day. So it adds up really quick, especially for those bigger families. So make sure you've got the space and you do the math. But that's 1 gallon per day per person. Very cool. Okay.
And you also got to think about cleaning and cooking as well, like on top of that sometimes. So just consider that as well.
Yeah, or watering your garden, your animals. Yep.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure.
How much does your dog drink a day? Oh, dogs are pretty resilient, though. I don't know.
Yeah, they are, man.
Let's see here. Someone's into jujitsu, right? So, Coby, how long you been doing it?
Yeah.
You got a passion for it, I see here.
Man, I do. I have been doing it for just over 3 years now, I think. Man, it's been one of the best things I've ever done. And there's several reasons I started it, but one of them was like, we talk about a lot of stuff on the podcast all the time. And one of those is self-defense. And if you can't tell, I'm not a huge dude. I'm a little guy, man. I'm like 150 pounds, and I needed something to make me feel like I could handle myself in whatever situation comes my way, right? And not saying that I can, but I'm getting better, right? And so jiu-jitsu was what I picked, and man, I took to it. I freaking love it. 3 days a week over there doing it, and I just feel like it's helped me in so many different ways that I don't think I'll ever stop now. So it's been a blast.
I find it interesting. Like I was doing jiu-jitsu when whatever it was called, it was UFC #1. Hoist Gracie came out, and he represented Brazilian jiu-jitsu, and then you had the ninja that represented ninjutsu. You had the Muay Thai guy. It was all discipline. This is before. This is what created MMA, and most people don't understand that. Is that all of these different disciplines decided to go head to head, and Hoist, centerline stance to draw an outside fire so he could get on the inside, wrap him up, take him to the ground, and win. And then, of course, Muay Thai with the striking capabilities, palm, fist, elbow, head, knee, shin, foot. Like you put it all together between the two and you're pretty much a fucking, killing machine.
Yeah.
And and I was sold. So when I was just coming out of high school, I think, college, whatever it was, and started doing jujitsu because before that I was doing JKD. And I was like, yeah, Bruce Lee, he knows his shit. He took Wing Chun.
For sure, yeah.
Yeah, he took Wing Chun. He pulled all the bullshit out and called it Jeet Kune Do, JKD, and I haven't said it in so long to mispronounce it. But anyway, and I loved it. I loved how that art worked. But then, it wasn't until you put people in an octagon that it really shows what works and what doesn't. Yeah. And if you want to be a striker, you go Muay Thai, and if you want to be good on the ground, of course, you go Jiu-Jitsu. You put them both together, and you'll be all right. Now you fast forward. Like, when did you hear about Jiu-Jitsu and kind of get on that? Because there is a current train right now. There is this massive freight train. Yeah. It's like Jiu-Jitsu, 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 and I kind of laugh at it. Yeah. I'm like, fuck, I was doing that I don't know, almost 30 years ago.
Yeah, you're the old guard, man. You've been doing this forever.
Yeah.
No, I luckily enough, I had a brother-in-law who's a brown belt. He's been doing it for a long time, and he's been trying to get me into it. And we lived out here in the middle of nowhere. We're seriously, we're 3 hours from civilization out here pretty much. And luckily he moved to town and he started a gym. And It gave me the opportunity to kind of do that. And also to have a mentor that knew what was going on and was teaching. And so I was insanely lucky. We're lucky to have a gym out here, in the middle of nowhere anyways. So that's kind of what got me into it. And obviously I'd heard all the talk, everybody listens to Rogan and hears him talk about it. And in the rise of UFC, and you see again, the cream rise to the top, you're a good grappler, you're going to get some wins under your belt. Right. So I don't know. It all just made sense to me. And then when I started doing it, there was just so many benefits for me anyways. Obviously the self-defense aspect is huge. Me being a small guy, knowing that most people are bigger than me, I have to find an advantage somewhere. Right. And so that was sort of where I found that advantage. It's hard to explain to somebody who's never really done it. Like, you really can hang with guys that are bigger than you if you've got good technique. Right.
Oh yeah. Patience.
And so it's, yeah. So, and obviously it kept me in shape. That was a thing that we talked about all the time on the podcast. I'm like, I need to make sure that I'm staying in shape. And that was a way to do that. It was kind of a meditative process for me, stress relief. You choke a few people out, man, I feel so much better at the end of the day. Right.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It's one of those things.
I actually prefer the opposite. I like being choked out.
You like being choked out, yeah. Cam likes to choke out his mom. I don't know.
Yeah.
Oh,
he makes it weird.
We just went. Yeah, better. That's that weird stuff he was referring to. Yeah,
I know. Weird. We always take a left turn into weirdness. But also, I actually got two of my girls into it. I have two young girls, one that's 13, one that's 12, that's doing it too. So that keeps me going because I know that, man, I feel so much better knowing that they have those skills as well. I mean, they're freaking better than I am. They're so amazing. So it's kind of a family thing. It's time with my kids. It's teaching them some self-reliance skills that I'm going to feel so much better when they're in high school and they're going to college. And I'm like, yeah,
dirtbags.
Good luck trying something with one of these, because they'll triangle you in 2 seconds and you're going to be sleeping.
That's right.
So anyways, it's been great for me overall.
Yeah. Awesome, man. Yeah. I think it's great for everybody because it's kind of like playing chess. It's how, it's how snakes play chess, right? That's how I kind of describe it. And then for you, Cam, you've been doing the PA thing. Do you have a side passion other than the podcast? You've got 3 girls, right?
I have 3 boys.
Oh, 3 boys.
Coby has 3 girls.
Okay, 3 girls, 3 boys. There we go.
3 boys. Yep.
Yeah, and
we're perfectly aligned for a long-term apocalypse.
That's why we came together.
Repopulate the earth.
We'll be fine.
Yeah. And then,
but go ahead.
Yeah. So, what is your version of Coby's jiu-jitsu? Do you?
Yeah. They always I've gone and got almost choked out a bunch of times.
We have brought him into the gym a few times.
And it's an eye opener, that's for sure.
To try and convince him, but I haven't yet got over that hump.
Yeah. I take we go camping a lot and go hiking and stuff like that, and on trails and explore new places. That's what I do a lot with my boys, just to get them out and away from technology and the stuff that everybody else does that they like to do. So my wife's constantly, even when I'm at work, taking them out to. I mean, they go on all kinds of trails and go on the lake and paddleboard and kayak. So very outdoorsy stuff when we can, as much as we can.
Yeah, no, I think that's important too. And I've only got one, and she's she's off to college, but I've tried to give her as many skills in that short period of time. You think you have plenty of time, but that time ticks away.
Yeah,
but I'm always happy
For
when we get on the range, and she still for years now has not thrown one round. Every single time, it's ting 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 ting, and I'm always like, damn. If I go any time without shooting,
so cool.
she still pulls it off, and I just feel like
so cool.
Females, generally speaking, whether it's female surgeons or for me coming from the clandestine method of entry world where you're trying to get your way, bypassing different locks. Females, whether it's surgery or even just getting that lock open, they have a softer touch. I feel like dexterity, attention span, really paying attention versus like boys. Like girls they take it all in and they remember it and they just get really good at it. And because they do have a little bit of a softer touch on things, it makes them actually good on the trigger, good with the, the surgical, the blade, or with lock picks. It's I've seen it across the board now. And I'm guessing as a PA, you've probably seen some female docs that, just blow, not literally blow, but
they're incredible,
blow the male docs out of the water.
Yeah. And maybe they do. No, they do. I think their attention to detail and stuff like that, it's different in it, and it's I'm jealous of it. Like they can do it. I see Coby's girls, like their ages aren't a lot different from my boys, but I'm like, man, I can't keep these guys on track for more than like 5 minutes on one thing. And then he's got girls doing jujitsu. I'm like, jeez. So they just learn it in different ways, and so for sure, it's kind of cool to see.
Yeah, it is distinguishing different. Because I used to say, like, you can teach a girl everything you could teach a boy, but I would not teach a boy everything I would teach a girl.
That is so true.
Yeah. So, it says something there. But now we've got boys that, turning their wieners inside out and calling them vaginas. It's kind of strange. It's a strange world out there.
The world is mad.
Yeah. So I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
But I blame it on their parents. Bad parenting somewhere. Let's see here. It is about that time. Yeah. It's about that time.
Oh, my God.
Guys.
All right.
To test your skills.
Fail all these.
Yeah, we're going to test, and I don't know, kind of determines whether anybody else is going to listen to your podcast based on how you do with this thing.
If they're still listening at this point, this isn't going to sway anybody.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see what happens here. All right. Here we go. Are you ready?
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Okay. Yes, you're answering.
Do I need to bang out a few push-ups or something?
You're answering with extreme excitement.
Got to get that one question out of my head.
No, it's stuck there.
Still burning a hole through.
Yeah, until tonight, you get under the covers with your wife, it's still going to be there. Mommy is still
I'm going to text him about 11 o'clock. Text him a picture of mom.
Mommy.
See how that goes.
Mommy.
Yeah.
Just say mommy. 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 Okay. For this scenario, you find yourselves camping in a log cabin. I don't know if that's camping, but you're in a log cabin in a remote, wooded, and mountainous location. Your cabin is situated close to a lovely stream. It is mid-afternoon.
Set.
Mid-afternoon. Take it all in. Mid-afternoon. And a powerful earthquake strikes. The ground shakes violently.
Is Cam's mom there?
The ground shakes violently, causing landslides and threatening the integrity of the cabin. So, do you A, take cover by laying next to a couch or large piece of furniture, or B, stand in the door frame?
Okay.
I think you go under the furniture.
I think so. Yeah. I
I've
think
heard the door frame thing is debunked.
That's right.
Yeah.
Is that what
Okay.
you're going
Next
with?
to the furniture.
Next to the furniture. A. Yes, A is correct. Take cover by laying next to a couch
Right there,
or
we
big
got
piece
it.
of furniture. Getting on the ground next to a sturdy enough couch or bed frame or any big piece of furniture is safer than a door frame. Okay.
Okay.
Next.
Even if it's IKEA.
Well, there's a lot of screws there holding that shit together. I don't know. It might be.
That's true. Yeah.
There are a lot of screws.
All right. Next, the ground stops shaking, but the cabin has suffered severe structural damage. The weather shows signs of a severe thunderstorm, and the stream has become a rushing river. So, do you A, exit the cabin and hunker down until rescuers arrive, or B, search for higher ground to avoid potential flooding triggered by the earthquake and weather? That's a give me.
Yep.
Yeah. You got to do that, right?
Right. Yeah, you go high.
That's right. Going high, of course. So
Get hit by lightning.
B, yes, you decide to search for higher ground to avoid potential flooding. You know that there is another cabin in that direction as well, which may have some supplies. As you climb higher, you notice a thick fog suddenly rolling in, dramatically reducing your visibility.
Oh, hell.
Do you A, proceed cautiously through the fog, using navigation tools to stay on track before you lose daylight, or B, find a safe spot to wait until the fog clears?
I'm not a good navigator. I'm waiting out.
You're waiting out? What
Yeah,
about-
I think.
I'm going to wait it out.
You sure? You sure about that?
I don't know. If I've got some navigation tools
Yeah.
and I'm feeling comfortable with it, I think I could navigate towards that area slowly.
Get out of the weather.
Yeah.
That's tough. That's a tough one.
It is a
Yeah,
tough one. It is. I agree with you. The beauty of these scenarios is you could say the right answer, but it doesn't matter because the answer you pick has to go along with the rest of the scenario. So which one you?
That's right. That's
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
What should we go with?
That's tough.
Do you want to wait?
I'm going to wait.
It kind of sounds like you're a pussy.
I'm a pussy.
Okay.
My mom's nearby.
Yeah, you're thinking about your
I'm
mom.
going to stay close.
We're going to stay by the tree and think about Cam's mom for a bit
Oh boy.
while the
All right.
fog clears.
Well, it is A, proceed cautiously through the fog using navigation tools to stay on track before you
You were right.
lose
That's all right.
daylight. That's okay. You're
Yeah,
you're
that makes
one
sense.
down. You're one down. That's okay. You're
kind of
still
gave it all away.
you're still passing. You're still passing. So it's okay.
Clear. You got navigation. You got
Passing
forward.
grade.
You can follow the rope all the way. And I'm like, well, I'll just stay put.
It's okay. In some cases, if visibility is dangerously low, setting up camp may be the way to go. However, for this scenario, you want to make it to the next cabin before nightfall. All right. You use a buddy system to proceed cautiously through the fog, with one of you walking out as far as the other can see, right? You're giving yourself some depth, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Then,
It's not like my hands in Kobe's back pocket.
yeah, that's a good. I like that. Hold on to his back pocket
Hold on.
with a firm grip.
Yep.
Yes.
Maybe one in the front pocket. I don't know.
Oh, wow. Now, yep. Okay. Rainbows everywhere.
Yeah, we're good friends.
Yes, I can tell. Are you still prescribing Zithromax to him, or Zithromycin? Zithromycin? Yes. Which one is it? I don't know.
Yeah.
Yep.
Let's see here. Then the other walks up to the guy in the lead and then repeat. It's almost like an Indian run. So someone's going to walk ahead into the fog until they sort of can't see him, and then you say, stop, right? Now I'm going to walk
Gotcha.
up to that person And then you're going to keep doing this. So you're leapfrogging through the fog using each other to make your way safely. Okay. While navigating through the fog, you come across a steep ravine that blocks your path. Okay. Do you A, attempt to find an alternative route around the ravine, or B, use your rope? You had a rope. I didn't know that. And climbing skills to descend into the ravine and climb up the other side.
Oh, man, I'm going around that.
Me too.
sucker.
Me too. It's wet. You're using gear.
Yeah.
Foggy.
It's
Can't
foggy.
see each other. No, I ain't doing that.
I'm trying to find a way around that ravine.
That is probably the smarter answer, but unfortunately for this scenario,
Son of a...
for this scenario, and because you are casual preppers, you have a rope,
Right.
And you know how to use it, and you are confident in your capabilities in the wilderness with just that light fog. You use it to descend into the ravine, and you climb up the other side, successfully overcoming the obstacle. As you continue,
Man, we're badass.
Yes, you are. As you continue your journey, you make it to the other cabin in the woods. It appears to have been abandoned for quite some time. So, do you A, enter the cabin to seek shelter and assess its condition, or B, assess the structural integrity of the cabin?
B makes more sense.
Yeah, I think you got to be careful in this situation, man. And there could be aftershocks coming, right? It's an earthquake. So I think you got to
It's
assess
still
it.
standing and been hit by
Take 10 minutes to walk around that sucker. That's not that big a deal.
hands in pocket. Just both of you go around it a couple
Exactly.
of times.
So what are you are correct. B, assess the structural integrity of the cabin. So what are some things from the outside, letting common sense drive the train? What's going to tell you whether or not a building is safe to go into after an earthquake? What do you think?
That's a great question. Cam probably knows that.
Yeah. Yep.
I look at this, the
Well, the
integrity,
doorway's still good.
the
That you
foundation.
didn't stand in.
Obviously, check the foundation out. Make sure it doesn't look like it's.
Yeah, the foundation's what I'd look at.
And then,
Yeah.
just looking for cracks and
See if
whatnot.
stuff inside has collapsed like any of the, trusses, stuff like that.
Ask Cam what he thinks. That's probably what I would do.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm no contractor.
Yeah, I think you're right. Look, I think the key is 90-degree angles. So windows, door frames, where the wall goes up and meets the roof, right? Are all the 90-degree angles still intact?
Yeah.
I think that's a good approach. Like you said with door frames.
Nice.
Okay. You approach the cabin with caution to ensure it's safe before entering. Upon closer inspection, you find that the cabin is structurally sound, and you decide to take shelter inside. So, do you A, conduct a thorough search of the cabin for supplies and resources, or B, charge your electronic devices?
I think we
I
got.
thought you were going to say the cabin is found to be an Airbnb.
Well, it could be. That would be nice, wouldn't it?
I think.
It's a bottle of wine.
I think we got to look for supplies. Right?
That's what I would do too.
We got to look for some supplies. Yeah, I'm not worried about my electronic devices
Nah.
quite yet.
Yeah, correct.
I'm up camping. I don't have them with me. Well,
That's right. Conduct a thorough search of the cabin and get your supplies and resources. And finding essential supplies such as canned food, water, and anything else actually comes in handy, like a Bunsen burner, whatever. Several days pass. Holy shit. And you realize your food supplies are running low. Okay? So, do you...
I eat Cam right away.
didn't even give you an option.
Man, you're looking really...
Oh, that's not one of the options.
You're looking really yummy right now, Cam. I got salt and pepper.
Call me mommy.
Yeah. Here we go with mommy again.
Eat this finger. It's an extra one.
I got an extra thumb.
My extra finger and my extra toe.
I'll bite that one off first.
Another good reason to have an extra... I don't know. Which one's meatier, a toe
Exactly.
or a finger?
I'm going to feed you.
Which
Right
one?
there, man.
Which one has more protein, your finger or toe? Okay. Do you A, venture into the surrounding area to forage some food, or B, set up traps near the cabin and catch small game for sustenance? So you're going to go for the foraging, or are you going to go to trapping? A or B?
I don't know why I can't do both, but I guess.
I'm kind of leaning trapping.
Are you?
Yeah.
Man, it might take longer. Foraging would be
you don't have to forage around, trip on a log, stick through your eyeball.
I think the time. I think that's a great point. Time, right? You're already hurting for food because it's been several days.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I mean.
Yeah, I feel like I need that
the wrong
sustenance
thing too.
You know what I mean? Like,
this looks all right, and just bite it, and I'd be dead.
I set up a wire to catch a rabbit. It might take a couple of days.
Yeah,
right.
It could.
I feel like if I can go out and find
You're
some
not using
berries,
as much energy though.
That's true. I can go out and find some berries or some nuts or whatever the hell else I find out there. I'm eating them.
Or deer poop.
Yeah, they probably are. Yeah, I think I'm gonna forage, but we can split on this one. I don't care.
You go forage. I'll build the.
There's two
traps.
Hell, we're gonna split.
You should have been doing that all along. You'll win no matter what.
You're right.
There's no losing.
All right. It is A. Venture into the surrounding area to forage for food. You opt to venture into the surrounding area, utilizing your knowledge of edible plants because you are casual preppers and your survival skills. After weeks of navigating the challenging terrain and surviving unlimited resources, one of you spots a rescue helicopter in the distance. Do you A?
That's got to be me.
It's in the air or on the ground.
Do you A, build a signal fire to attract the attention of the rescue team, or use a signaling device such as a mirror flashlight to reflect sunlight towards the helicopter and or just use the light of the flashlight? A or B? You see it right now. What do you do?
Oh,
I would do the reflector thing. Yeah.
Yeah. I
got it on my belt. So,
that's right.
I mean, I can
bust that out, start flashing.
I can start a fire pretty fast, but not that fast.
Exactly.
Right.
Yeah.
So I'm going. Yeah, you got to signal.
Correct. You have to signal, right? Because let's face it, you're not going to have time. When you see it, when you see it, you've got to have something for the now, because building a fire, getting a fire to raise enough smoke and get all visible, hell, the helicopter will be gone, or you'll have missed your moment. So you quickly signal and boom, the rescue team sees you. So Coby, Cam.
There's a Russian helicopter that was invading the United States.
That's right.
You made the worst decision possible.
Use these people living in this cabin.
He looks alone. I'll go.
Well, Coby, Cam, congratulations. You did survive by barely. No, you did really well. You did really well. Through your resourcefulness, survival skills, and prepper knowledge, you have successfully navigated the aftermath of an earthquake and managed to survive in the remote mountainous region. Your ability to assess risk, make informed decisions, and adapt to changing circumstances has played a crucial role in your survival of this podcast. Good job. Congratulations. Go ahead and pat yourselves on the back. Yay.
Man, I feel like that is probably the best accomplishment I've had in several months. To be honest with you, I'm gonna take this with me for a while, so I'm excited.
And if you were here in person,
you
would get a "Can you survive this?" T-shirt, but you're not here, so you just get to leave
next time.
You get to leave with the win, just the win. That's it.
Yeah,
I like
bragging
that shirt.
rights.
Cam, you could call your mom and tell her.
I will be sleeping with my mom. So
yes, her soul is always there.
Oh yes, just her soul.
Go boy, go. That's it. God,
that's my boy.
I'm so proud of my son. I'm so proud of my son. He's so good.
Well, that was too quick.
Well, you guys did a great job. And for my audience, where can they find you, listen to you guys, and learn more about you?
Oh, man, we had a blast, too. Yeah, you can find us on any podcast platform out there. Just search Casual Preppers. You can find us at casualpreppers.com. You can find us on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all the places on the social medias.
Yep.
Right,
Yeah.
Cameron?
We're
Anywhere
on
else?
them. We're no.
That's it.
I think that's it.
Yeah, Cam's mom's house. Come see us. Say hi.
Awesome. Well, it's been awesome hanging out with you guys. I really do appreciate you taking the time. I'm glad this all worked out.
Thank you.
Thanks for everything you guys are putting out. Like I said at the beginning, we're both just trying to find entertaining ways to keep safety, security, survivability at the forefront of people's minds. And like I always say, keep it simple because crisis will complicate the rest. And until next time, be safe out there.